Hello again, everybody. Welcome once again to your daily punishment of Tech Times Daily, the show where we try to make information a bit more digestible, like if an almanac was a pop-up book. I'll be your host for today, Christian Tejares, and with me is my co-host, Christopher the Nonstopper, the king during conversations, jovial banter. He applauds squirrels that share their nuts. The great Christopher Short.
What's up,
How are you,
man?
Chris?
I'm good. I'm good.
So, it's raining in my area now. You jealous?
I am. I haven't seen rain since, honest to God, I don't think I've seen rain since 2023. I swear, I haven't.
Yeah. Mother Nature is not nurturing you anymore. It
No,
plays favorites.
and it's like 95 degrees every day. You
Yeah,
know,
every day feels like you're stepping into a sauna. Like I
yeah.
don't
Now,
even know if the rain is actually helping or it's making things worse.
right now, I know how the dinosaurs felt.
You
Just wait.
think this is an extinction scenario?
I think so. I think we're about to, at least in my area.
You think Al Gore is about to be vindicated? Like he wasted a bunch of money for that movie. Like
He's already beyond vindication.
we're just waiting for the inconvenient truth part two, like
Yeah.
Gore's revenge.
I think according to him, we were supposed to be dead already.
Yeah, thankfully he was
2010 is
wrong. Like
what year?
this is the one time I wanted him to be wrong.
Can't remember what year he predicted.
Like even the Mayans were saying.
Yeah, we yeah. Uh,
Well, anyway, we got a bit of a news that actually dropped on us. Like it feels like the show is really episodic, where we just continue with we discussed before,
right.
which is kind of crazy. Like the news today comes to us from our Tech Times writer Quincy John, wherein the Senate committee passes bills to combat AI misinformation ahead of U.S. elections. With the U.S. election day months away, the Senate Rules Committee passed three bills to protect the polls from the dangers of artificial intelligence. As deepfake audio and video become simpler, authorities worry about campaigns using AI technology to deceive voters in the upcoming elections. The committee voted as Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and three bipartisan colleagues released an AI regulations roadmap wherein the three bills must pass the House and Senate to become law, placing urgency on election related deepfake restrictions before November's election. Chris, should we expect the future policies becoming more centered around AI tech? And could this possibly overshadow other matters that need the government's attention, like healthcare and infrastructure?
Hmm. Uh, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like this is again like a scramble. Like they're trying, and I'm sure this isn't a comprehensive uh bill. This is kind of like maybe a good starter bill, right?
Do you
Because
think this is
unlike
just a
the
one? This is just a one and done just for the election?
well, I just don't believe that they have the knowledge required, except for that one. What's his
That
name?
one
That went
dude
back to school.
actually went
Yeah,
back to school.
yeah. Maybe. I mean, if he's authored this, then he probably knows. But it's I can't help but feel that a lot of these attempts are just hollow, right? It's like, oh, look what we did. It's like, but did you really do anything?
I guess at this point, are they just trying to remove any excuses that's going to be made once the election results has been passed?
Mm,
Like every election, there's going to be safeguards that the current administration is going to be implementing just to legitimize whatever results happen. Like they already have the issue with the previous one. I think this is more of a like a I don't want to say it's a band-aid. Like is something that they want to just to eliminate any distrust regarding the election results in another January 6th doesn't happen.
Right.
Because there
I
is
mean,
a possibility that AI is going to be used an excuse again.
yeah, well, we haven't really seen AI rear its ugly head yet as far as campaigns. I haven't seen anything really. But I know like there's a lot of stuff happening. Like the watermarking of, to so that we know it's easier to detect AI generated stuff.
And when you upload on things on YouTube now, when you upload videos, they actually ask you if there are generated AI generated content within your videos. You have to specify it.
Well, I noticed in the article, it says that the Preparing Election Administrators for AI Act passed unanimously, 11-0. But the Protect Elections from Deceptive AI Act and AI Transparency in Elections Act passed 9-2.
Hmm.
So I find that odd. So it makes me think because when they passed it, when they make these bills, there's a bunch of shit that goes in there that's not even related to AI. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like these things, they water them down, they load them up with stuff. I'm curious.
You
I
you
guess,
figure they're gonna be making amendments along the way to this?
oh, for sure, for sure.
Like I, like I said, the tech is still in its infancy. Like you
Yeah,
have to be completely certain for this. And they've done this quick. Like this is the government we're talking about.
yeah.
You
That's what
usually
I'm
don't
saying.
hear the word bipartisan in anything. No.
You don't, yeah, you really don't. Not these days. I mean, I think it's a good step, right? Like elections are for a democracy, they should be as secure as possible. So I completely agree with taking steps. Um, will it make a difference? I mean,
Like I guess so. Like they're trying to
maybe.
plug up. They're really early when it comes to plugging up holes. Like when it comes to the blind trust during Trump, it was never actually stated in writing before. Like
Right.
everyone assumes that it was actually just going to be enacted until Trump actually came along. So maybe this
Right.
is just a preemptive thing that they tried to do. Like it's pretty much now common sense to have things in writing and in a bill.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first step, right? Because if it's in a bill, that means it becomes punishable.
Punishable and enforceable.
Yeah. If not, then it's like, oh, well, there's no statute for this. Like, we don't know how to approach this. Um, the government doesn't know how to respond, those type things. So
Have we
yeah, I
had
think it's
yeah, go ahead.
no, I said, yeah, I think it's great. Will it make a difference? The reason, okay, this was the point actually I wanted to make. The reason I don't think it'll be effective is because the people that they are trying to thwart are experts in this field. It's like it's like taking someone that's never played basketball and then making him guard Steph Curry.
Hmm.
It's just, it's okay, good. At least somebody's there trying to guard him. It's not going to make much of a difference, but at least there's some type of effort from the opposing team.
Yeah, the state of the bipartisan vote for me is it feels like both parties feel that AI will be used in the campaign. That's why they voted it.
Yeah, I think they're all worried about it, and they should be, because this isn't one of those things like protests where you can use it one way or another. This is something that affects everyone across the board because especially if you have outside interference like a Russia or a China or North Korea or somebody. They're just there to create chaos. Right? If it was purely domestic, then it may lean one way or another. Therefore, one side or another may feel more strongly about it. But since it's such a destructive thing that they can do, everyone's worried.
I see. Do you think the tech companies will have to rethink now on how they develop their AI models? Considering, I think in the future we'll be seeing more bills like this, and not just going to be uh, centered on politics, maybe in other aspects.
Yeah, fair trade. Yeah, privacy. As far as like we've seen, like we've talked about before with likenesses and voice likeness and
Yeah.
things being used.
Particularly for
Eventually,
children, right?
mm,
We reported on that.
yeah, yeah. You know, using it for perversion or whatever. Yeah, I think eventually those things will become like illegal, and therefore, I mean, it's kind of the same argument, right? Like, can you blame, let's say, like the gun issue, right, in the US? Some people want to blame the manufacturers. Now, is that fair? Because they just manufacture, right? So it's the
Yeah,
same with the AI companies. Like, we're just making the stuff. If y'all use it to destroy each other, that's on you. We have no liability.
like
It's
this.
like it's like suing Stanley because someone used a hammer to, I don't know, unalive someone.
It's like a class action suit of Russians actually blaming the pencil company because John Wick stabbed them with it.
Yep, yep, yep. Yep. Is it the pencil company or is it, what I'm saying? So it kind of bleeds into a regulatory thing more so than um, a law for the people type thing.
Yeah, you would think some people were actually going to be offended, but I think because a bunch of people have actually doubled down on AI and used it as a platform now for creating content.
Mm,
And these will be the people that will be sought after by future businessmen when it comes to advertising, it comes to entertainment. That's
right.
why I'm thinking possibly the creators of these things would want to rethink how they develop their model because they would have to adjust to the law regarding the restrictions on what their AI could do. Is it any more intelligent if it's restricted?
Right. That's a good point, man. You bring up a good point. Like, do we want AI to be able to do anything?
Like the whole point of it is actually work in correlation with a human being, but do we have to
Mm.
dumb it down? Are we that stupid for AI to be dumbed down anymore?
Uh, I think it's just evolving so fast.
Like it's
Now that this
evolving.
has been passed, I'm sure I Googled it, but I couldn't get into it. Um, but I'm sure the things that are covered in these bills, honestly, probably outdated already, and it was just passed. The weeks or months or however long discussions and subcommittee quarrels and all that shit that happens. By the time it got passed, it's already behind because technology is just at light speed, man. We're just zooming through
Like,
cyberspace right now.
and I guess in hindsight, if you think about it, had there been preemptive measures regarding social media, the social media would be that we would be using today would be completely watered down,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
There would be a bunch of laws that would actually provide restrictions for the users. You could argue it would be a better place, but then again,
yeah,
some industries actually popped up because of this.
right,
People
right.
made millions. And I think the same thing could be said for AI. Like there are opportunities that could be hindered by certain bills that actually limit it. Like we're asking something that was developed to be intelligent to be less intelligent for people to actually work with it.
Hmm.
Then what was the funding all about?
Right.
This is like Lassie that can't actually save Timmy from the well.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. Yeah, this is it's just barking at this point.
Yeah. Then there's the other side of the coin. If the government actually centers on this, like, do they suddenly ignore the existing issues that the US has now? Like for the past 3 years, ever since the pandemic, like it feels like healthcare in the US, actually the discussion and it stopped when people actually took the jab. So
Right.
like everyone's healthy now. You're no longer gonna get COVID. So healthcare's gone. You've
Yeah.
dieted enough inside your houses, so I think obesity is gone. So
Or yeah, well, for me, I still carry what I call the COVID 20.
what's that?
It's the 20 pounds everybody gained during COVID.
You haven't lost it yet.
Yeah, no,
You became
no.
attached.
Yeah. I mean, this is me now. But no, you're absolutely right. Uh, I mean, I guess really the only thing I can say is it's better than nothing.
That's a very low bar.
It is. But it's also a bunch of know nothings trying to prevent something that they have very little understanding of and something that's moving that we're still having conversational verbal discussions and arguments while AI is way past all that.
Like
It's just taking information in all the time
someone
and
said
producing.
that a US motto could be better than nothing. It's like a motto for Course Light. So
It is, honestly. I mean, and it's kind of, I mean, that even equates to the current election.
yeah,
I mean, they're all shit choices when you boil it down. Like we don't have a good option, but they're, better than nothing.
how many senators does the US have, and how many congressmen are actually there? How many Supreme Court justices are actually viable as an option? And we get these two. Like,
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. It's
does the US need something similar like an NBA draft for them to actually get representatives for their parties? Like,
I mean, as an American, I live a very international life. Like I talk to people from all over the world, um, almost daily. Um, it's almost embarrassing at this point. It's like people ask me. I bumped into a German gentleman the other day, and we had a conversation, kind of quick. wasn't anything too deep, but um, he asked me like, "So, what do you think about the upcoming election?" I was like, "Man, I don't even know, bro. It's like you got two girlfriends, and one is overweight and smells terrible, and the other is toothless. It's like I'm not proud of either of these chicks. Like it's just not something I want to brag about, and that's terrible. I feel like there should be some sense of pride in, but I mean, I don't know, man. I guess does anybody really love their leader? That's where like Stalinism and all that shit starts coming into play when people idolize their political leaders too much.
yeah, that's why I said I never actually believe in the concept of presidents, right?
I I like
and
the old style like tribunal type stuff.
and I guess this would be the first time that we're going to be experiencing two candidates that actually have done it before, and yet we're
Yeah.
distrustful of them. These are two candidates that have experienced the presidency, and we don't trust them to actually do the job.
Uh, I trust the one to do the job, but I don't trust him to like my issue is the American population is so divided. Like that's really what I want is someone that can come in and create, bring back a unity that we felt, I hate to say it, but the same level of unity that we had after September 11th.
Yeah, we did mention that every
Yeah.
generation actually has a common enemy,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
right. And usually, whoever it is, it's a roll of the dice. Everyone gets a turn.
I mean, I'm at this point, man, I'm not even 100% against an AI president. Like, who gives a shit?
I
Like, really, can it be any worse?
don't
Like,
think
I,
so,
I would almost write in, uh,
unless they could completely dumb down the
prompt.
AI right to the level of these two.
I mean,
I'm not knocking the intelligence in Biden. I think age just caught up with him.
no, it's not an intelligence thing. He was always a very smart man. Obviously, he's successful in what he's done. You can't call him stupid. I think he had the same issue that AI would have. Sometimes there's no connection. He's just kind of that type shit, and you see
He's
it
no
in his
longer
eyes.
there.
You see the
He's no
loading in
longer
his
there.
eyes. Yeah, he's just like, yeah.
Him
I'd be
and
waiting for him
McCall.
to say random shit like danger, Will Robinson, because he's like, it's like he's not even with us anymore, and it's loading connection failed or whatever, and maybe it's raining. Like here, when it rains and we get shitty internet service, if it's raining in DC, Biden's like,
I don't even get why the rain affects the internet, by the way.
yeah,
Someone actually tell me. Please place it
it's
in the comments.
2024, 2024, and I can't get internet inside of an elevator. It's insane.
If, let's go with hypotheticals here. And let's say Trump actually wins. With this bill actually in place, do you think he can navigate the waters when it comes to AI?
Uh, I think I learned something from a CEO a few years ago. He told me that as CEO, he doesn't have to know everything. He just has to hire someone that does,
Yeah.
or people that do. So I don't expect one man to come in and like save the world, but I do expect the man that gets elected to have enough foresight and enough skill, basically, uh, to decide the right people to at least then give him, you know, so he can make an informed decision, right? Like I'm not voting for a savior. I'm voting for a um, facilitator.
Yeah. Someone who would keep the kids in line.
Right. Like, yeah, you're the headpiece, right? You're the coach, but you got to have good players, or the coach is worthless. Coach ain't even shit if you ain't got no players. And if the players ain't good, if Phil Jackson had garbage players, he wouldn't be Phil Jackson,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, in any case, hopefully things work out and AI is not watered down to the point of duh. So
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, to our Tech Times audience, we are interested in your opinion on this matter, and please do voice them on the comment section if you have questions. If you want to discuss with anything, we're open to it. Like, thank you for joining us for another punishment of Tech Times Daily. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. And on behalf of my co-host, the great Christopher Short, we'll see you in the next.